Kubor nakaslem jong udongsan hima.
Facilitate to address these issues. So our state is a transit state where thousands of people enter every day in our state because people who is traveling towards Barat Bali of Assam, Mizoram, Tripura, they have to travel through. Especially people who are coming inside the state for different activities and different motive behind. So influx is one of the issues which have been there for long. Last year, the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly have passed a resolution in one voice to pressure the central government for inner line permit, which is still lying in the court of the central government. So our constitution has mandated our beautiful state with the 6th schedule to protect the land and the culture for all along since our independence. Our legislator in the past have made many laws, many legislation, which has been beautifully crafted for the benefit of the people of the state as a whole. The Act like the Meghalaya Transfer of Land Regulation Act 1971, the Meghalaya Land Revenue Regulation 1972, and so on. There are so many beautiful acts which has been legislated, passed, and has become an act which has been protect our state, beautiful state. So, the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act 2016, it has been enacted and passed to ensure enhanced security vetting of the tenants and to ensure the safety and security of the citizen of the state by preventing antisocial element from gaining shelter in the state, which might be detrimental to peace and tranquility, and to regulate the tenant residing in rented house in the state, where the district task force in different districts and the facilitation center, and to be effectively enforced with various law within it. In 2016, the government of Meghalaya have passed the bill which has become an act. It has gotten assent of the governor on the 26th of September 2016, and it appeared in the Gazette on the 27th September 2016, which mandated through this beautiful act the facilitation center in different parts of our state, in Ribhoi district, East and West Jaintia Hill district, West Khasi Hill district, North Garo Hill district, West Garo Hill district, and so on, where different location has been identified for setting up of entry and exit point, so that there will be a proper mechanism to check who is entering towards the state, whether they have proper document or not. This has to be followed accordingly. In last budget session, sir, in this 2020, the present government have brought an amendment for this act, Meghalaya Resident Safety Security Amendment Bill 2020, which was brought with a motive to give more teeth to this act, where amendment has been made in preamble in the section 2 and 3, and then the insertion of section 4A, and then amendment in section 6, 10, insertion of section 13A was done, so that this act will become more effective to our state. So let me go a little bit back for this. The PLUD building have been entrusted to study and prepare a detailed project report. And at the same time, the work for land development and shifting of 11 kV line was started by PW Building and MEPDCL during May 2019. The detailed project report was prepared amounting 15 crore 92 lakh 81,000. And administrative approval was accorded with memo letter number tourism 43 2019 35B dated 13 March 2020 with the approval of the planning department, conveyed with ID number 2104 dated 9/3/2020 and concurrence of finance EC 2 department with 1D number FC2 2014/2 109 dated 12 March 2020. In the meantime, we are told that it was found that the vacant transport land already leased near the weight bridge at Umling to be a better option to create facilitation center of entry point towards the state, in which we have seen that the Honorable Chief Minister have gave a statement that it will be completed within 2 months' time by using prefab steel permanent structure covered with pre-painted galvanized sheet. And simultaneously, this center will also be created or provide border screening for testing of COVID-19. In view of this, the Empowered Sanction Committee held on 23rd 9/2020 desanctioned the previous administrative approval with memo number tourism 43/2019/58A dated 29 September 2020 and given a new administrative approval amounting 2 crore 85 lakh 75,000, in which we have seen that the work has been started. Sir, at the beginning, as I have made my submission, that the government have identified different location, but in 2018, this new location at Umling has been identified, which is the land belong to the Transport Department. So the issue now is that recently we had a visit through the Government Assurance Committee to have pass on information, because this is one of the assurance made by the government in the preceding year. And we have seen that the new location for the entry point under MRSSA Act, entry point that has been identified, the land very much near with that weight bridge at Umling, the land which is belong to the Transport Department, where the old site also, which is very near, the size of that line, which has already been identified before, is 3.75 acre. And the land which has been proposed to make as a prefab fabrication, therefore, to have this entry point, it is measuring not more than 40,000 square feet, which is small in area, which look very congested there. The government have justified the stand for desanction, the previous sanction of 15 crore plus, that it will take time, and instead sanction the new sanction of 2 crore 85 lakh 75,000 for prefab steel permanent structure. These are the two parts of this discussion, sir. So main issue is through this act, we want to see that there should be a permanent location where the facilitation center can be built properly at the site which has already been identified, which is measuring 3.72 acre. Where I have said before also, the site which has been mentioned, the work has been started now through the prefab structure, which is small in size, and at the same time, it is not so conducive to carry on such a massive exercise like a facilitation center to screen the people who are entering a state very much near the weight bridge, which is already in existence there in Umling. The people of the state want to see that this act has to be implemented in letter and spirit, and we want to see that the government will expedite, and we would like to see that the government, through the statement given by the Honorable Chief Minister, that it will come up within 2 months, that the screening will be started very soon. So another side of this discussion is that the very important component of the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act. The district task force, I hope district task force has been in place in all the districts, which is headed by the concerned deputy commissioner with another 5 members, which include the ADC, officer from the anti-infiltration, the EAC, and which include from the local authority and the prominent citizen. So we have seen this, as I have said before, this is a massive exercise that has to be carried out. It incurs a lot of hard work from the government official, at the same time from the representative who represent local authority and a prominent citizen. So we would like to see that this will really happen, and a helping hand from the government, as it has already enacted within it, has to be there at the ground. So you have seen in the clause 3 and section 18 of this act, which says that facilitation center shall ensure Indian citizen not to face inconvenience for their rights guaranteed under the Constitution of India. I would like to suggest to the government to insert a few lines that provided he or she is supported by genuine and valid document and follow according to the act. It has to be, to like to give more teeth to this act so that our people in the state will be secure. So, at the same time, this presently prepared facilitation center in Umling, it will be also made as a COVID testing center, also where more of the room will be occupied by the screening center for COVID, and at the same time for the people from the tourism department or labor department from the deputy commissioner office who will work together for screening of all these people. So, having said so, I have said in the beginning that for temporary solution, it's okay, let it be there. But for permanent, so that this act will be in letter and spirit, we would like to see that a permanent location has to be adopted by the government, because Umling, which is also more than 7 to 8 kilometers inside Meghalaya, it is not right at the border. This facilitation center for entry point, it would have been appropriate if it will be more or less in Barnihat or within 2 to 3 kilometers within our border. It will be more appropriate. So I would like the government to address on this also. At the same time, sir, we would like to ensure government to give an assurance, because the amendment bill which has been tabled during the budget session in 2020, it has not acquired an assent from the governor. It will like a follow-up from the government that it will get assent as soon as possible. At the same time, the promise made by Honorable Chief Minister that it will come up within this year, we would like to see the light of the day when it will start. And at the same time, the issue for the permanent site, the permanent location for this entry point within our state. This I'm talking about only Umling, sir, but we have different entry and exit point identified in all over the state. But this is one of the main, we are talking about Umling, main entrance toward our state. We would like to see that the government will take serious note on this. And at the same time, which is the location which has been presently where the temporary entry point has been kept there on the land of the transport department, where any agreement has been signed, for how many years has been signed with the transport department, where this facilitation center it is there. So we would like the government to respond on this issue, because this is a very important issue, sir, relate with influx, with illegal immigrant. So we would like to see that the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act will start very soon, so that the people of the state will feel secure that there is an act, even though we are waiting for the central government to pass an ILP, to give us an ILP, an airline permit.
May I request the honourable member to be brief?
Yeah,
so that
I can finish
give enough time to all the members like
this is concluding remark only, sir. So I would like to see that the government will be serious on this, because this is a very important issue for the people of our state. At the same time, each and everyone is waiting when this facilitation center will start. At least one center should start. We want to see that Umling, the one which is at Umling, will start, and the rest in Mendi Pathar, in Malidor, the rest will follow suit in days to come. So thank you, sir, for allowing me to raise this short duration discussion. Thank you very much. I will resume my seat.
Thank you. Now may I request Dr. Ramparan Lindo to participate. I'll name one by one.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. So I too rise in support of all of the issues that have been raised by the mover of this motion under Rule 50 of the Rules of Procedures and Conduct of Business, Meral Bonds AIM. So all of the issues that he has highlighted have to be taken into consideration, sir. I will not like to repeat all of them. Just to add one perspective of information sought by me in the unstart question sector, sir, where at question 41 in the unstart question set, sir, I had asked the Honorable Chief Minister to state whether the assignment of officials already in position in all entry and exit points in the state of Meghalaya, and the reply to that was said, the total staff of the Health and Family Welfare Department assigned at the entry-exit point is 300, and they are working on rotation basis for COVID-19 related duties. So, sir, my only additional query to the Honorable Chief Minister is whether or not the entire cost of 2,85,75,000 for the facilitation center at Umling is a designated COVID testing center, or is it the exit and entry point that we all refer to from time to time? And whether or not this 40-acre land, 40,000 square feet acre land, would be sufficient to encompass all of the entire gamut of infrastructure required for a facilitation center. I would presume, sir, that the entry and exit point should primarily contain additional facilities like housing for officers and officials whom I'm presuming will be on watch 24/7. Whether or not all of the other offices of all of the other line departments, from labor department to infiltration department to all the other departments that are required to actually be present for the supervision of an alternative approach to the inner line permit, would be able to be housed in a 40,000 square feet land. To my memory, sir, this particular location is already very compromised, and if I'm not wrong, the Nehai themselves could not construct a permanent 4-lane structure around that area where that roadway bridge is. Now I'm trying to see in my mind the installation also of a prefab facilitation center for the purpose of scrutiny of individuals coming to our state for various reasons. And as correctly pointed out by the mover of the short duration discussion, sir, several other sectors of the Principal Act have been amended. And to my knowledge, at that point of time when we were actually discussing those amendments, we were keeping in mind and focus the kind of traffic that would accumulate there, because the kind of necessary screening that was going to take place because of this. So my request to the government of the day, sir, is simply to just kindly take into consideration all of these aspects, so that at a future stage, no other future government will come in and say that these facilities are not adequate, and that this entire exercise now has to be relocated to a future destination, which again would derail the resolution passed by this House, where every member who participated said one thing in chorus, and that is, we need some sort of an inline permit or a supervising kind of a permit to screen individuals coming to our state, whether they are staying for a short time or whether they're going to stay for a long time. And this would require massive spacing. So I would go with a larger area, which is 3.5 acres as indicated by the previous government. But if this government so deem fit that this may be overlooked and that we should now convert a targeted COVID center into an entry and exit point, then some justification has to be clarified as far as I'm concerned. With these few words, sir, I take my seat. Thank you.
Honourable member from Riboy, Sri George Pilingdo, MLA.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, sir.
Please be brief.
Just a few points. Just be brief. Sir, the entry-exit point is, as we all can recall, is a culmination of the sentiments and efforts because of the anti-CAA sentiment, the ILP demand, followed by the resolution that we have taken here together in the House, the passing of the MRSSA in 2016 was all an effort, sir, that has been put through collective participation and decision of the leaders and the various stakeholders. Now, sir, the status of the entry-exit point seems to be moving, and things are perceivably, it seems that the government is putting some effort. But I would just like to ask a few points, sir. Whether the amended MRSSA has been notified, sir. That is one clarity that I would seek. Now, during the presentation by the Honorable CM, he had focused on one mobile application that has been proposed to facilitate the registration of people under the MRSSA, and subsequently putting all the efforts in together through the mobile application to help people come into the state. And thirdly, sir, what is the status of the inner-line permit? And what is the mind of the union government, sir? After the resolution has been passed, we have been informed that the Honorable CM and the delegation had met the ministers in the union government. We would like to know the mind of the union government, sir, pertaining to that resolution that we have passed. What is their mind? Because it's going to be nearly a year now, in coming December. So once we know the mindset, then perhaps people will be highlighted. And if there is any expected timeline, sir, for that inclusion of the state in the preamble of the presidential order, whether that inclusion of the state of Meghalaya under the ILP would fructify as recommended by the August House and as demanded by the people of the state, sir. These are a few submissions and clarity that I would seek from the Honorable CM, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And may I call upon Sri Kampa S. Marbaniam? Do you want to participate?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, for allowing me to participate in the short duration discussion moved by the Honorable MLA from Nongpo, Shri Merubol Sim, on the Rule 50 of the Rule and Procedure and Conduct of Business regarding the news item Pensangya ka Sarkar Bantay yak entry point ha umling bitar shla kiseng bhalang. So, influx has been an issue from time to time, and even during the election also it's been quite a big issue. So it was on December last year when the central government passed the Citizenship Amendment Act, which the government supported. but to pacify the pressure group and the citizen of Meghalaya, the government later passed a resolution in the assembly to implement the ILP. So implementation of the inner line permit is elusive till date, as the government has not been able to impress upon the union government on the need of implementation of the ILP in the state. So these are all linked with the entry and exit point. And even the MRSSA Act is yet to be implemented. The Amendment Act is yet to be implemented. So I just request the government to kindly look into all these aspects. Because all the construction of the entry point is slow and we need to do it at a faster pace. The implementation of MRSSA also is yet to be seen because most of the Sodar, the Rangbashnau, the villages, the CM, they don't know what is MRSSA. And ILP, which is a very important issue passed by this August House. If the government feels that it's the need to implement all these, then kindly do it at a faster rate so that the citizen of Meghalaya will see the light of day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. May I request Honorable MLA from Mulai, P.T. Sukme, to make a brief statement.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. So I rise to participate in the short duration discussion brought by Honorable Member from Nongpo, Shri Miralbon CM, sir. That is according to Rule 50 of the Rule and Procedure of Conducting the Business. So I would like to minister to make it correct. Pen sange ka sarkar bantay yak entry point umling bitarshla kiseng bha lang. Sir, thank you, sir. So regarding why I wanted to check so that there will not be a wrong message outside the house that because you understand if I'm a Khasi, if I pronounce about the Karu's word will be a little bit
Different.
unhealthy. That's why I correct that really will take when because we are MLAs that if it is our own language, it will be properly announced by others. It will be different. So that correction will be send a good message outside. So the intention of bringing of this entry and exit point, this is a very important. That is a long time that people of the state that we are waiting when the light of the day will come, that we will see that entry and exit point is functioning 100% in the state of Meghalaya. So we have to focus better in the Umling side because we knows that Umling is one of the point that people from the whole of North is coming from that side. Then we have been focused, I may say that 100% from Umling side, that many coming from that. It is very important to focus on that. But like of all the Honorable Chief Minister have already been keep his promise that say by next month we will see that entry and exit point will be integrated. That I'm sure that all will go well, sir. So the second regarding with why I'm saying about the Umling side, because now we have to focus about the Mendi Pathar. So when we're talking about entry exit point, we have to talking for the whole of the state. Say from the Umling state, we have to take care. Say Mendi Pathar, we have to take care. Even Jain Hills, that all the entry point we have to check. That is it shows that we are take care for the state as a whole. Illegal infiltration of any people from outside of our country should be checked properly. That is the message, especially illegal infiltration. I'm also from Bangladesh, you have to check, because as of now that many of illegal in Bangladesh coming from the Bangladesh side. So, second to that, main important, I will get information from the Honorable Chief Minister that the department who will look after for that entry-exit point. If it is in the Ribhoi district, yes, we have DC from that side. If it is Mendi Pathar, we have this Deputy Commissioner from that side. If it is
generals, we have a deputy commissioner, many important department have to name. If we just say that all the department will take care, that message it goes that we have not fixed any responsibility to any department. Then I feel that it is important that we have to fix the department who will man for that entry and exit point. Once we have fixed the responsibility, in the meantime, the message from the government that you have, this is the documents that the people from outside have to produce while entering in our state. That is the part of our inline permit. Indirectly, that inline permit is started in our state. Document is very important. That document is how we would say with the officers in charge on that entry exit point. This is the document. People who come from our side, we have this document. Second to that, immediately on that spot itself, if the officers or any person or any staff who find that the illegal infiltration, what power we will entrust it to them, so that immediately on that spot itself, whether what kind of punishment, what kind of action, what other thing that we have to take care on that spot itself. On that spot itself, that officers will take a decision. Otherwise, supposing if Mr. A from Bangladesh come, is infiltration, illegal infiltration, without knowing that what we have to do. From his side, he said, see, now we have not been instructed by the deputy commissioner that we have to arrest him or we have what to do, or government have not been trusted. That's why it is very important that we have to entrust about those people that illegal infiltration have to, what kind of punishment or what is the procedure that we have to take care from. We have to take care from the side of the officers or man of that entry and exit point. So the entry and exit point, I've already said that intention is to check the people from outside. But the main important, like all members have already mentioned, about the Meghalaya Resident Safety Security Act, it is a very, very important that I urge an Honorable Chief Minister and his cabinet colleague that I think it's high time again to meet with the present governor, brief of that act. Last time, we have already passed on the floor house. Chief Minister and others meeting with the former governor. Former governor who have his own way of thinking that it may affect here and there. Then he returned back. I'm sure that this time, I urge the Honorable Chief Minister that if he can pursue again meeting with the present governor, that is whatever we did for interest of our state. Because the main important that we have to protect our people. That is the main important. Unless we have a strong act, it is difficult to check with our own people. Like I've already said, because we are here, we're here for the state, we are here for the indigenous people, Khasi, Jainis, and the Garos. If you and I, we're going to protect how we expect. People have sent you and I on this road house that we should do something, protection for the future generation of our children. We have to make sure that protection will be strong for the future generation. So we understand, in addition to that, after the government have get approval from the governor, but we have to, like we have all in that act itself, it's already mentioned, the cooperation from the Dorbar. The cooperation from Dorbar, even for cooperation from those for those resident from the state, they have to cooperate. Made important that people from outside, if they come and stay in the house of Mr. A, that is become that will be taken as a tenant. Immediately, the house owner, land owners, they have to inform the headman, have to inform the Nokma. Nokma, from there, we have inform the police station. We need the cooperation of each and everyone, so that this act will be useful and also will be strong. And it main important we need the cooperation of each and every people in the state. So now is a time of COVID. No doubt that because of the strong checking, if it is in the side of Umling or the side in the state, that there is a very less people coming from outside. Even then that I'm sure that after the completion of that present entry-exit point at Umling, and I'm sure that we can check very carefully people coming from outside, so that our state will be safe. So this is the point that I put forward. I'm looking forward. The Honorable Chief Minister, along with the Council of Ministers, will take care for the interest of the state, especially for the entry-exit point, which people of the state expect when this will be functioning, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Then may I request the Chief Minister to reply, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to thank Shri Meralbon CM, MLA, and Kong Amperin Lingdo, MLA, Shri George Lingdo, MLA, Shri Kimfa Marpanyang, MLA, and Shri P.T. Sokme, MLA, for raising a short discussion regarding the news item that appeared in Maupo dated 3rd October 2020 under the caption Pensange ka Sarkar Bantie Ya ka entry point ha Umling Bitar Shla ki Singbhalang. Sir, Sir, if I am correct, the translation of the caption reads, NGOs express anger that the government has stopped the construction of the entry point at Umling. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government of Meghalaya has not stopped the construction of the entry point at Umling, as per the reports in the newspaper. In fact, the work for the construction of the facilitation center at Umling has already started and is due to be completed by November 2020. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government of Meghalaya has prioritized the setting up of the entry point at Umling in Ribhoi, as it is one of the main entry points to the state of Meghalaya. It was with this in mind that the land belonging to the Transport Department at Umling was identified in 2019. The land belonging to the Transport Department was ideal, as it was a government land and was spacious to allow free movement of vehicles. Once the land belonging to Transport Department was finalized, the state government, via number Tourism 43/2019/35, dated 13th of March 2020, conveyed administrative approval and sanctioned the total estimate costing amount to 15 crores 92 lakhs 81,000 only for phase 1 for construction of facilitation center entry point at Umling, Ribhoi district, by limiting the current year's expenditure to 50 lakhs only, and the amount has been released to CEPWD on 28th of May 2020. However, the government, via number Tourism 43/2019/58, dated 29th September 2020, on the advice of the Empowered Sanction Committee meeting held on the 23rd of September 2020, had desanctioned the administrative approval amounting to 15 crore 92 lakh 81,000 for construction of facilitation center entry point at Umling, Ribhoi, and instead, for the same location, had sanctioned an amount of 2.85 crores, wide number Tourism 43/201/59, dated 29 September 2020, for a prefab structure that will serve as a facilitation center at the entry point. This decision was taken to ensure that the facilitation center is completed at the earliest, which will also ensure that it serves as a COVID-19 screening center. Once the facilitation center is ready and notified as per the provisions of subsection 1 of section 17 of the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act 2016, The district task force will designate the officials who will be in charge of the facilitation center as per Rule 8 of the Meghalaya Residence Safety and Security Rules 2017, which will comprise officials from police, tourism, and other relevant departments. The facilitation center will also house officials from the health department for COVID-19 screening. Apart from Umling, the facilitation center at Mendipathar railway station in North Garo Hills is expected to be completed by December 2020. The state government is committed towards ensuring that the process of land acquisition and setting up of the facilitation centers is done at the earliest at all the entry and exit points. It may be stated altogether 24 locations have been identified in the phase 1 out of a total of 41 for setting up of these entry and exit points, for which land acquisition process is at various stages of progress. West Khasi Hills, the land acquisition process in respect of entry and exit at Athiabari in West Khasi Hills have been completed and land has been taken over by Tourism Department on the 24th of November 2018. The PWD has been asked to submit revised estimates for the construction of the facilitation center. In West Jayanti Hills, land has been identified in Khanduli and Safai for setting up of entry and exit points. The process of land acquisition is nearly completed at Khanduli, and land will be handed over soon to the Tourism Department after compensation is released to the landowners by the Deputy Commissioner. East Jayanti Hills, the government has identified 5 locations for setting up of entry-exit points, namely Malidor, Ratachera, Moriap, Lashken, and Umkirpong. The Tourism Department has released an amount of 55,85,454 in respect of locations at Ratachera, and 8,22,537 in respect of Lakasyang. At Ratachera, which is an important entry and exit in the state, the Deputy Commissioner of East Jayanti Hills has stated that the land belonging to the Jayanti Hills Autonomous District Council is suitable for the setting up of entry-exit point. The matter has been taken up with the JHADC through the District Council Affairs Department on 9th of March 2020. In West Garo Hills, 4 locations have been identified at Medipara, Abhirampara, Pulbari Ghat and Singimari Tri-Junction. The amount for the land compensation has been released to the Deputy Commissioner and the process of land acquisition is in progress. In Southwest Garo Hills, of the 3 locations identified, that is Mirjumla, Junjuni and Oidoba Road, the land acquisition process is in respect of Junjuni has been completed and land has been handed over to the Tourism Department on the 28th of May 2020. In North Garo Hills, 7 locations, namely Dainadubi, Manikganj, Mendipathar railway station, Mendipathar Bazaar, Khaldang and Bajingdoba have been identified in phase 1. The entry point at Bajingdoba is the most important entry point for which land at Berubari has been identified by the Deputy Commissioner and the process of land acquisition for the same will be initiated. For setting up of entry-exit points at Dainadubi, a plot of land has been identified at Sarangma, Shimapal, for which the Deputy Commissioner will be initiating the process of land acquisition. Sir, apart from that, a number of issues were raised by the honorable members, and I would like to touch on a few of them. May not be able to touch on all the issues. Sir, when it came to the aspect of the land being closer to the border in Ribhoi district, I think we are all aware that most of the land all the way to Umling is very high, steep mountain, and the land availability also is difficult and the terrain also is very difficult. Hence, it made most logical sense for us to, number one, go for a land which was slightly more planar, and number two, it is owned by the government. Therefore, the cost involved in land acquisition and the time involved in land acquisition was not there. So, keeping all aspects of cost, feasibility, and time in mind, we decided to go with Umling, keeping in mind the urgency of the matter. And the entire size of the permanent location, which is about 3.72 acres, is right next to the current point where we are working on. And the reason why we needed to do that at this point is because of the different challenges which we're facing in that land, which is mainly the boulders and the other land issues out there, which may require a huge amount of money, at the same time a lot of time to actually clear all of that. And in the meantime, precious time is being lost, especially keeping in mind the COVID situation. So therefore, we decided to go for this prefab structure, which will be sufficient for us to be able to carry out all the activities. There will be enough space, and as I said, more importantly, we will be able to come up with this in a very short time. As I mentioned, in the month of November, we should be able to go ahead with that. I have mentioned already about Mehndi Pathar, that by December, we should be able to complete the site and the construction of the entry point, exit point in the Mehndi Pathar railway station. The center that is coming up in Umling is obviously going to be a facilitation center and entry point, but keeping in mind the current situation that we're facing regarding COVID, it will also serve as a COVID screening point for people who are coming into the state. So having said that, I think it is very important to understand that the entire scenario in the country and the world today has changed. And because of that, a lot of different protocols have come out. Now today, the government of Meghalaya requires every individual who is coming into the state must be tested either at the gate or come with a COVID-free certificate. So when the individual does that, it requires the individual also to register with the state government. And so by default, we are seeing a situation where we are having the registration process because of the testing protocols that we have. And we strongly feel that the testing protocols need to remain because of the fact that there needs to be some deterrent. But as we go along and as we see the situation, we will decide on that. But keeping in mind the current situation, these protocols have been put in place, and therefore every individual coming in needs to be tested, and for the testing you require the person to also register. So having said that, in the process of registration, as was being mentioned by one of the members, we have created this very, very simple app where people will register for entry into the state in terms of the testing, and it will also be a registration for information about the tourists who are coming in, and at the same time it will also be a facilitation for them to actually make bookings in hotels, bookings for vehicles, and booking for entry tickets if they want to go to any of the tourist locations. So it's a very comprehensive site and a comprehensive application which will be able to serve all these aspects that we're talking about. So therefore, in effect, we are seeing the registration happening, and in effect, we are actually seeing the screening process already started at the entry level. So therefore, at the entry points. Therefore, indirectly or directly, because of the COVID situation, we have to ensure that the testing takes place, which is in turn requiring us to have the registration, which in turn is requiring us to have this application, which will then allow it to be easy for the people to register and easy for the officials and the government to also monitor the entire system. So coming to the ILP, we are all aware about how the ILP issue has been affecting our state and how we have been so many years there have been a push and a demand for ILP. And in fact, many years back, different resolutions were brought in but it could not be passed in the House for whatever reasons it was. But then, if you recall, sir, in the last year, this House unanimously passed a resolution to demand and push the Government of India to include the ILP or include Meghalaya in the ILP list. And that resolution was passed. It was a historic day. It was a historic resolution. And based on that, we have moved with Government of India. Post the resolution being forwarded to Government of India, I have personally met the Honorable Minister, and a delegation also has met the Honorable Minister. And as of now, they are still examining the matter, and we have not got any clear directions as to where this will go, in the sense that Government of India will let us know in the appropriate time on what the decision will be. But as of now, the Government of India is examining the matter, sir. When it comes to the amendments that have been made, then the MRSSA amendments, once it was done, we had forwarded to the Governor for the assent. And in the meantime, as you're aware, sir, there was a change and the new Governor had come in. Once the new Governor came in, he took his time to understand the entire matter. And just recently, he has sent the file back to us with his comments and his suggestions in the file. And therefore, now the Government of Meghalaya is examining the comments and suggestions that are meant, so that we can decide on how to move forward in that aspect also. So we are working on that aspect of MRSSA as well. But having said that, sir, I think it is important to note that the process has already started. So that is the most important part we need to understand. We need to realize that, yes, different policies are going to be there, and different policies will help us achieve the goal that we want. And I think it is important to keep that particular goal in mind. And today, because of the COVID situation, even without the aspect of having the revised MRSSA, we are actually implementing it in an indirect manner, because we are requiring it for the testings. So the testing has to be done, and therefore registration has to be take place. So therefore, in effect, we are seeing that provisions being implemented today, and it is being done with the purpose of actually for the safety of everybody. So it's not being done in any way to make life difficult for people who are coming in, but I think people who are coming in will also themselves feel safe when they come in, when they know that people who are coming into the state are being tested and are being monitored. Because this registration that we're doing now will help us also communicate and contact to the individuals in case some COVID situation comes up. Calls will be made, contact tracing will be easier. So all these aspects are being attached to it. So let me be very, very clear to the House that this issue of having a system in order for us to check and monitor the inflow of people into the state is something that has been important to the past governments also, the MLAs, society in general, and absolutely to this government. And that is the reason why we have been taking multiple steps to achieve this goal and to improve the entire system, so that we can monitor the overall inflow and outflow of the people coming into the state without really infringing into constitutional rights, without really infringing or making it difficult for individuals to come in. So therefore, a balance needs to be struck. We need to ensure that our people feel safe, but at the same time, we need to also ensure the people coming in from outside do not feel harassed. And because we know, sir, 100 people come in. Not all 100 people are people who are illegal immigrants. Not all 100 people are coming in with the wrong intention. So therefore, we need to be very careful that in the process of trying to find out the one or two who are, the rest of the 99% should not suffer. So it's a very, very fine balance we have to achieve, and we are trying to do that by ensuring that different systems come into place, so that different technology comes into place, and that is how we will try to move things forward. Regarding the location that we have right now, so the location is sufficient for us to start out there, and we will function from this location for quite some time, because investment is being made, and at the same time the efforts will continue to ensure that the permanent site also comes up. But when we make an investment in this particular location, which is just next to it, so it's not like it's a kilometer away. It's just about 100 meters away from the permanent location in Umling, that is. There will not be any issue at all, and this space should suffice for the current requirements that we have. Sir, I think more or less rest of the members also had stressed on the same points that I have just clarified. Let me once again assure the House that the government is very much committed to ensuring that these entry and exit points come up. A lot of work has gone into it. All, I should say, not almost, but all the district task force have already been notified. And in Shillong City, in fact, you must be aware, sir, that in the month of January, February, the exercise to start sensitizing the different stakeholders had already started. A number of programs were held with the Rangba Shnongs. Training programs being conducted. And of course, COVID struck us, and then we could not move forward. But as things start normalizing, as we are able to get things in a, feel much more comfortable with the overall situation, and we see the risks of COVID going down, we will ensure that the process again gets restarted. And as mentioned earlier, in these difficult times, technology can play a very important role. So therefore, this information that we're collecting will obviously be shared by the different stakeholders as and when required by them. So therefore, sir, once again, I thank the honorable members for raising the different points out here, and let me assure everybody that the entry point at Umling will be ready by November, and the entire process of registration will start. It's already started, but the physical work from Umling will start within this calendar year, which is before December itself, and the place will be ready by November. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, yeah, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to the Honorable Chief Minister, who have taken an effort to explain the House, especially the people of the state who are eagerly waiting to see when this massive exercise will start. Thank you so much for your concern, and we hope other entry point in East Jaintia Hills, Rivoy, West Khas Hill, and in Garo Hills will take up. At the same time, I want to thank that he has assured the House that for the permanent location, it will be made slowly in due course of time. So I would like to thank for that. And one submission, sir, last submission is that we would urge the government to follow up, as we have known that the government has sent back that bill. So we would like the government to follow up so that he will give his assent as soon as possible, so that this act will be in letter and spirit. Thank you.
Point
Sir.
noted, sir.
In the duration of the reply of the Honorable CM, we've made to understand that a lot of efforts have been taken, sir. My appreciation stands for the efforts taken, especially to identify locations and also to acquire land across various locations. So, 2 points. One, the registration process that has been put in at the checkpoint, is it now moving into a website registration, not any more mobile application? That is just a clarity so that people will be made to understand the processes. At the same time, sir, now from the reply of the Honorable CM, it is understood that there is no commitment from the Union government as to whether ILP will be applicable or not applicable, since it is still examining the matter. Therefore, sir, we stand as a state with the CAA being implemented and now CAA being applicable in the state. The normal areas now stand exposed, and since they fall under the purview of CAA. And also, sir, I would rather presume it will also fall under the manipulative tactics of the Union government. And if any time an amendment comes again to the CAA, then we will stand handicapped. Therefore, sir, with the amendment of the MRSSA pending and still in the due course of negotiations and therefore various maybe changes and tweaks here and there. So we would request for the implementation of the Principal Act of the MRSSA, sir, so that the districts, at least the district committee should be enforced, it should be put in place in a faster pace. And already work has been done. We've heard from the Honorable CM. But the normal areas, even the other day, the Honorable member from Maulai has said that now Maulai Nongmali also falls under normal area. So therefore, it falls under CAA. So all these new things are coming in, new informations are coming in. So therefore, sir, I would request that the Principal Act be speeded up, and at the same time on the clarity whether it is a mobile app or we have gone for website registration, sir. Thank you, sir.
So it's a mobile app, sir. And all the other points mentioned by the Honorable Member, I've noted them, sir.